Hello everyone, myself Sagar Gunani from Elite Careers. This video lecture is on simple and compound interest part 1. Before going further, we need to understand one term over here, that is interest. Interest is nothing but a rent which is to be paid on the amount of money that is borrowed. It means whenever you borrow a money from a bank or a people, then you have to pay a rent, and that rent will depend upon the time period during which you have borrowed those money. For example, whenever you are going to a bank to take a loan, for example, you have to buy a scooter and that scooter cost you 60,000 rupees. Now you don't have this 60,000 rupees, then what you do? You go to a bank to get a loan of this 60,000 rupees. Now, as you don't have 60,000 rupees, you have decided to pay this loan back within 2 years. Now, after 2 years, you have to return this money to a bank, but the catch over here is the bank will ask you this money 60,000 plus certain interest, right? And that interest can be simple interest or compound interest. Now, the thing which you need to understood over here is the interest. Interest is nothing but a rent which is to be paid on this sum of money which is borrowed. For example, you have borrowed 60,000 rupees. Then on this 60,000 rupees, you have to pay back the 60,000 rupees plus a certain amount. This certain amount is nothing but a rent of using this 60,000 rupees for 2 years. Now, we need to understand what is simple and compound interest. Let's take another example. In a school, there is a fancy dress competition and you have to buy a fancy dress from a shop. Now this shop is not going to give you a dress for a free. In order to get a dress, you have to pay a rent. Now, this rent will depend upon the amount of time during which you have borrowed this dress. For example, the fancy dress competition is for a 1 day. Then you have to pay a rent of buying this dress for a day. And for a same, this interest or a rent which is to be paid on a dress will depend upon the time. If it is 1 day, then the amount will be less, and if it is for a 1 week, then that amount will be different. So the amount of rent which is to be paid on a product will depend upon the time duration. Same way, in the olden days, we might have purchased movie DVDs. Then on those movie DVDs, we have paid certain amount of rent for using those DVD. And that rent which you paid depends upon the time period. For instance, if you are renting a DVD for a month, then the amount which you have to pay for a rent will be X rupees, and that X rupees will be different as compared to that of the rent which has to be paid for 2 months. So you can say that the rent will vary depends upon the time period. Same is case for the money. Let's say that you have deposited a money to a bank. When you deposit money to a bank, then let's say that you have deposited certain amount of money in the saving account. Then the bank has to give certain interest to you because bank is using your money. So in favor of that money, the bank is giving you an interest. Now this money you can withdraw at any time, but the amount of interest which you will get depends upon the time period with which your money is deposited on the bank. If you deposit your money for 1 month, then you will get the interest for a month only. Depending upon the time duration on which you have deposited the money, you will get the interest. So now, by this thing, we have understood that it costs money to borrow a money. That is, if you want to take a loan, then you have to repay back the principal amount plus a rent, which is nothing but an interest. So we can say that when we borrow money, we usually pay money for using that money. Understood? So if you are taking a loan of 60,000, then you have to pay this loan 60,000 back to the bank plus interest. This interest is nothing but a payment which is to be paid for using that money. Fine. So interest is charged as a percentage of the sum borrowed. Understood. Now let's say that simple interest for a principal of P for 40 years at a rate of R percentage is given as PTR by 100. For example, you have borrowed 1 lakh rupees from a bank at simple interest. Now bank is charging 4% per annum to you. Now you have decided to pay back this 1 lakh rupees in 1 year. So from that, in this example, principal amount which is borrowed from a bank is 1 lakh rupees. And the rate of interest which the bank is charging you is 4% per annum. So that is R. And the time period during which you have decided to pay back this 1 lakh amount is 1 year. Then after 1 year, you have to pay this 1 lakh amount plus an interest. And if that interest is simple interest, then the simple interest which is calculated is PTR by 100. So the principal over here is 1 lakh, that is 1 and 5 zeros. And time period is 1 year and the rate of interest is, let's say, 4%. So PTR, that is P is 1 lakh into T is 1 and R is 4 upon 100. So from that this 2 will get cancelled. So you will get 4,000. It means you have to pay 1 lakh plus 4,000 as an interest. So the total amount which you has to pay, which one has to pay after 1 year is principal amount, that is 1 lakh plus 4,000, that is simple interest. So the total amount which is to be paid is principal plus interest, and that turns out to be 1 lakh 4,000. Now the rate of interest will vary depending upon the type of bank. Also the interest depends upon the time period also. So if you have decided to pay this 1 lakh after 2 years, then the interest which you have to pay will be more as compared to that of 1 year. Fine. So the simple interest will depend upon the principal amount, time period and the rate of interest. Now let us understand compound interest. Compound interest is the interest calculated on the initial principal and the accumulated interest of the previous period of deposit or a loan. Now let us understand the difference between simple interest and the compound interest. And let's take an example of 100 rupees borrowed. Now on this 100 rupees borrowed, rate of interest over here is 10%. Okay, then after 1 year, if it is borrowed on a simple interest, then after 1 year you have to pay 100 rupees plus 10% interest. Now 10% of 100 rupees is 10 rupees. So simple interest over here after 1 year is 10 rupees. And after second year it will be again 10 rupees. And after third year also it will be again 10 rupees. So every year you have to pay 10 rupees more for using this 100 rupees. Fine. So at the end of the 1 year, if you have decided to pay back this amount, then you have to pay 100 plus 10, that is 110 rupees. And if you have decided to pay back after 2 years, then it will be 100 rupees plus 10 rupees plus 10 rupees, that is 120 rupees. And after 3 years, if you have decided to pay, then the amount which you have to pay is 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, that is 130 rupees. So this amount which you have to pay after 3 years at a simple interest. Now let us understand the difference in the compound interest. Then in the compound interest, the interest which is to be paid for a first year will remain same. That is 10% of 100 rupees is 10 rupees. So at the end of the first year, you have to pay 100 plus 10, that is 110 rupees. But at the end of the second year, if you are paying by the compound interest, then you have to pay the interest of 10 rupees plus interest of interest. Interest of interest means what? Initially after 1 year you have 10 rupees interest which is to be paid. Then on this 10 rupees also you have to pay 10% interest. So 10% of 10 rupees is nothing but 1 rupee. So if you have decided to pay this 100 rupees at the end of second year, Then at a compound interest, you have to pay 100 plus 10 plus 11, that is 121 rupees. So this is nothing but 11 rupees which is to be paid, that is interest plus interest of interest. Now let's say that you have decided to pay amount after 3 years. So after 3 years, the interest which is to be paid on the principal is 10 rupees plus the interest which is to be paid at the end of the first year was 10 rupees. So the interest on this 10 rupees will for the 2 years will be 10 percentage of 10 rupees will be 1 rupees. So that is 1 rupees for the first year, and for the second year it is 11 rupees. So on this 11 rupees you have to pay this 10 percentage interest. So the 10 percentage of 11 rupees is 1.1. Addition after 3 years will be 10 rupees plus 11 rupees plus 12.1 rupees. Understood? So that is the difference between simple and compound interest. That is, in compound interest you have to pay interest on interest. Fine. So it means that the amount of interest which is to be paid at the compound interest will be more as compared to that of the simple interest. Now the formula for finding out the compound interest is A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to T. Here P is the principal amount, R is the rate of interest, and T is the amount which is to be invested. Now this is the total amount which is to be paid. In order to find out the interest, compound interest will be total amount minus the principal. So if the total amount is P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to T, then if this is the total amount, then from this you have to deduct the principal amount. Once you deduct the principal amount, you will get the compound interest. Understood? Now let's take some example over here. Now compound interest can be paid annually also, half yearly also, quarterly or monthly. Annually means every year. If it is paid every year, then the formula for the amount of compound interest will be P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to N. And if it is paid yearly, that is compound interest is paid every half year, then the interest which is to be paid is 2 times in a year. Fine, 2 times in a year. If interest is paid 2 times in a year, then the amount of interest which is to be paid half yearly is P into 1 plus R by 2 by 100 raised to 2n. Fine. So the difference over here is instead of R you have R by 2 and instead of n you have 2n. Okay. And if it is interest is paid quarterly, then the rate of interest will be R by 4 and term will be 4n. And if the interest is paid monthly, then instead of rate of interest will be R by 12 and the period will be 12n. For example, if the rate of interest which is to be paid annually is 4% per annum, then if the interest is paid half yearly, then every 6 months the rate of interest will be 4% by 2, that is 2%, and in a year, if it is for a year, then 1 into 2 is 2. So 2 times in a year, 2% at a rate of 2%, the interest will be paid to you. Fine. So whenever rate of interest is given per annum, if R percentage is given per annum, then for monthly you have to divide R by 12, for half yearly you have to divide R by 2, that is every 6 months, and every quarterly means every 3 months. So R by 4, and time period will be 4n, and respectively the time period will be double. If it is half yearly, then the time period will be double. If it is quarterly, then it will becomes 4 times, and if it is monthly, then the time period will be 12 times. Now let's move to some problems of simple and compound interest. The time required for sum of money to amount to 5 times itself at 16% simple interest will be. Now let's say that the sum of money initially is P rupees. Now the time required for sum of money to amount to 5 times itself. So what is the time required to convert this P amount to 5 times the initial amount, that is 5P? So we need to find out the time which is required to convert this p into 5p, means the increment over here is 4p. Now this increment 4p is because of the interest which is to be paid to you. Fine. So the interest which is paid on this sum of p rupees is 4p. Now we have a formula for simple interest. Let's say that the amount is x rupees and during t years this x rupees is converted into 5x rupees. Then the interest for t years will be 4x rupees because x plus 4x will be 5x. Fine. So the interest over here is 4x rupees. Now PTR by 100 is equal to simple interest. So simple interest is 4x and p is equal to x rupees. So and r is equal to 16%. So if x is equal to r is equal to 16%, we can find out the value of t. The x will get cancelled out and you will get t is equal to 400 by 16, which is equal to 25. So after 25 years, the amount x will convert into 5x. Understood? Let's move to next problem. Question number 2. What is the ratio of simple interest earned on certain amount at a rate 12% for 6 years and that for 12 years? Now we need to find out the ratio of simple interest on certain amount which is x rupees at a rate of 12% for 6 years and that for 12 years. The formula for simple interest is PRT by 100. So PRT by 100 and PRT by 100 for second term. So for first we have 6 years, T1 as 6 years and rate of interest as 12%. In both the case, rate of interest is same and the principal is same, so it will get cancelled out. So the ratio of simple interest will be T1 by T2. Fine. So the ratio of simple interest is PRN by 100. For 6 years it will be P into 12 into 6 by 100 and the simple interest for 12 years will be PRN by 100 again. The rate of interest is same and the principal is same, but the period over here is 12 years. So the ratio will be 6 is to 12, which is nothing but 1 is to 2. Next case, question number 3. A certain sum of money becomes 4 times of itself in 30 years at a rate of simple interest. In how many years it becomes double to itself at same rate of interest? Now in this question, P becomes 4 times itself, that is 4P in 30 years. So in 30 years, the interest which is earned is P minus 4P, that is 3P. So in case of 30 years, you are getting interest of 3P. Right. Then you need to see in how many years your principal will double. Principal will double means P is converted into 2P. So in this case, the interest earned is P. So after how many years you will get P amount of interest? If 3P amount of interest is gained in 30 years, then in order to get P amount of interest, how much years is required? So let's say that this is X, then by the cross multiplication, the X will turns out to be 30P by 3P, so that is equal to 10 years. So after 10 years, your principal will get double. Fine. So in 30 years, the change in principal is 3P, then in 10 years, the change in principal will be P to 2P. So in order to get the interest of P rupees, the amount year which is required is equal to 10 years. Next problem, question number 4. In how many years will a sum of 4,000 rupees yield a simple interest of 1,440 rupees at 12% per annum? Now simple interest is 1,440 rupees and the principal is given. So simply we will apply the formula simple interest is equal to PRT by 100. Here P is equal to 4,000, simple interest is equal to 1,440 and time period we need to know and the interest over here is 12%. So then keeping all this value in the formula, we can find out the value of T and T is equal to 3 years. Next problem, question number 5. The simple interest on 2,000 rupees for 2 years at rupees 75 per thousand annum will be. Now we have a formula for simple interest, that is PTR by 100. We have principal as 2000 rupees, T is equal to 2 years, and rate of interest. Here rate of interest is not given directly. Indirectly it is given that it is 75 rupees per 1000 per annum. Now in this formula we have to take R as a rate of interest, that is percentage per annum. Fine. So we need to find out the amount in percentage per annum. Now we have 75 rupees per annum. So 75 by 1000 into 100, which turns out to be 7.5%. Now we will use the 7.5% in the formula. So we can get the value of simple interest. And substituting in the formula, we got the simple interest is equal to 300 rupees. So this is the end of first part of simple and compound interest. Thanks for watching.